everyone, this is Kevin from thechesswebsite.com, and today we're going to be starting a new series. And I've had a lot of people asking me to post videos on gameplay and give commentary on it, and so I'm going to start doing that. And the first video today, I play a lot of different chess games. Sometimes I'm just trying new stuff out, and sometimes I'm playing for real. And so I'm going to be kind of going over some games that I've played that I feel like go over some of the key concepts that I've talked about in my game. So hopefully as I play and kind of talk about my game, you can kind of see, oh, okay, that's kind of what he's talking about. So if you see a move I do and you're like, hey, that's pretty dumb, hopefully at least you understand why I did it, even if you may not have done it. Everyone kind of has their own style of play, so I'll kind of go over my style of play. Unfortunately, I only have 10 minutes, so I'll try to cover as much as I can. So I start out e4. It's kind of my normal start out, and black defends with a Sicilian. Obviously, as many of you know, if black defends with e5, I like to play the King's Gambit just because it mixes it up, but he plays a Sicilian, so I just develop like normal, and he continues, and I develop like normal, and I capture, and he's attacking my pawn, so I'm just going to develop my knight, and he just brings up his pawn a little bit, so I'm just going to develop my bishop at the same time, makes way for my king to castle. He's now attacking my knight, and I really don't like to move my knight twice in a row, especially 3 times since he's already moved. So I'm just going to develop another piece and defend that knight there. He's going to do the same thing with his bishop and make way for his king to castle. I'm just going to go ahead and castle, pretty easy move. Eventually I'm going to want my queen to move out and connect these rooks. You always want to connect your rooks in a chess game. But I feel like I have most of my pieces developed here, so I'm feeling pretty good about my game so far. He captures, which is fine with me. I don't mind trading off the knights early in the game. I like to play wide open games. I'm always one to keep the open middle, so I like to keep my bishops. So I definitely wouldn't trade a bishop for a knight, but I would trade a knight for a knight, so it gets closer to the end game, which I like. So we'll go ahead and capture, both down a knight and a pawn there. So black castles, which is a logical move, and we bring our rook to the e-file, which is always a good move. The King's Gambit, when the f-file is open, you can keep it on the f-file because it's a semi-open file. But when you start with e4, it's always a good move to bring your rook behind it, just kind of add protection. You can always start pushing down your opponent's throat. Kind of gives you just another piece back there to defend it. So black's going to start marching down, making me move my bishop. I'm just going to move him right back where he was. Now black's just going to develop his bishop to a better square. This is kind of a prophylactic move, just kind of waiting to see what he does. I really don't want to see a bishop here, so it doesn't really hurt me. I just want to see what he does. Looks like he does the same thing. And I just kind of move my knight back here, just kind of a waiting move as well. And he moves his knight. Looks like he's going to try to attack. He's attacking my bishop, and like I said before, I don't like to give up my bishop early, so I'm just going to kind of move him back, just still kind of waiting to see what he does. I haven't really committed to anything so far. Now he moves his queen, and he's attacking the b2, and he's also attacking this piece right here. I really don't mind. I can kind of bait him into taking the b2 square, but definitely want to defend this f2 square. So I'm going to go ahead and move my knight. Obviously I can't let him come down with the queen because he's protected by the knight, so I have to do something about that. Now this move kind of was the turning point in the game, because from here black kind of weakened his king side, so I decided from here on out, in my mind, I was just going to attack him on the king side. And so a lot of times you want to know what your plan of action is, and so at this defining moment I said, hey, I'm going to start my attack on the king side. So I'm going to go ahead and capture. Yes, I don't have my E and D pawns, but I have good attacking prowess that I can do. So he captures. I'm not ready to trade bishops yet because I'm on the attack. So I'm going to go ahead and check the king. He moves, so he's kind of in the corner, so I feel like I've got a pretty good edge here. If I can get to an end game, I feel like I can get my king to the middle quicker than he can. It's these small nuances that you start to pick up on in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and knock his knight out of the way. He moves his knight. and I'm going to go ahead and bring my bishop to kind of knock his queen out of the way. And he's attacking my bishop, so I've got to move. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to this square. Two defenders on this C2 square. Obviously, he has got a bishop and a queen here, so I need to defend it and get my bishop out of the way. And he starts to march his pawns down my throat. And I just kind of move my knight to the king side. Obviously, I said I want to start an attack on the king side, which I started to do, attacking his bishop in the process. He moves his bishop back. Obviously, he wants to protect that bishop. And now I move my queen here, and this is more of a connecting my rooks thing. It's not a, hey, I need to move my queen, but you always want to connect your rooks in a game. So that's what that was. Black moves his rook, kind of defending the e-file. E-file is always a good one to bring your rook to, so that's what he did. I moved my pawn up just so I didn't have to continue to worry about this pawn being attacked by both the queen and the bishop. Looks like he's going to start bringing his pawn down. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my rook over a little bit, and he continues to bring his pawn down. I'm going to go ahead and move my bishop here. I don't mind trading off bishops now. Obviously, I had to get out of the way, and I didn't want to bring it to this square, blocking off my rooks. So I felt like that was kind of a wasted move. So I figured my best move, even though I don't want to trade off, I will, because I feel like this is the best square. So he decides not to. He's going to try to block me off. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my queen to what I feel is a better square, attacking this pawn, putting some pressure on it. He starts to attack my knight, and I really don't want doubled pawns. If I take with this pawn, I'll have doubled pawns. So kind of want to move him out of the way. So we'll move him back to e2, and looks like black moves his king closer to the center. We're not near an endgame, but he decided that was best. And I moved this pawn up. Basically, I'm going all out on the king side. He can en passant, but then I can take his bishop, so he decides not to. He just moves his queen, and I'm just going to keep pushing my pawn up. Obviously, he can't take it because I have a rook there. He just moves his bishop back, and I'm going to go ahead and bring my bishop to a square where I can start to attack on the king side a little bit faster. And he brings his knight here, and I have no problem about that. I'm going to go ahead and continue. A lot of people would say, don't leave space in your king, but if you feel like you have pretty good attacking abilities, then I say go for it. Make chess fun, and if you feel like you can win, then just go out. That's kind of how I play. I like to play pretty active. I'm not a reserved player, so that's why that move was there. Forces him to move his knight. I'm going to go ahead and move my knight here. His queen is kind of far away from the action, so he's going to have to figure out something to do. So he attacks my knight here, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and attack his queen, make him move, and he moves his queen back. And I'm going to fork his pawn and his rook. Obviously, I saw later that he can just move his rook here and defend it, but at this point, I decide I really didn't see it go anywhere, so I start to go towards the end game. I feel very confident in the end game, so I just start to trade pieces. He moves his bishop back. We trade bishops. We trade queens. And now I kind of move my rook back. And now you'll see, since it's the end game, I try to bring my king to the center. So we both start to bring our king to the center. And now in the past videos, you've heard me talk about outpost. So I have a great outpost for my knight right here, and he can't move it. So as you'll see, I get defenders on this B pawn, and I keep moving my king to the center. He puts more pressure on this, so I just add another defender to it. He tries to break up this pawn. I just don't even worry about it. I bring this one up. He captures, I capture. I still have this great outpost. That knight really doesn't do much. I'm going to go ahead and bring my rook into the action. We kind of go back and forth. Eventually he moves up, and I just bring my rook to, obviously this is a huge pawn for me, and then I just trade rooks with him. I have no problem trading. Then I move my knight back a little bit. Obviously I have to move my rook here, and now I start pushing up the pawn, and king comes into the action. I take one of his, and he moves his knight, and obviously this is just in-game practice. I basically have no problems trading right here. And he takes, and I take, and this is just kind of a key concept. He can't take this because I can just force it down his throat. So here, you'll see a lot of people are like, why would you just give up this pawn? But again, I just like to get closer to an end game. So He's moving. Obviously, I'm up in material right now. I'm up a pawn, so it's just in-game tactics 101. And eventually, as you will see, he takes, and then I can easily win this in-game. And don't have a lot of time, so sorry for the speed up. But I was up in material, and so I just kept trading down, kept trading down, kept trading down, and then I had a queen, and it's a pretty easy win from here. So hope you guys enjoy. I'll try to make more videos like this. Hopefully it helped a little bit, kind of going over my thought process and how when I do have an advantage, I just go towards the end game and an easy win. So check out more videos in the future, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed.